Does your memory glitch when I'm in the red? Do my losses taste like things you never said? Was your patience just a paper thin hedge, or were you always short on the emotional edge? Cause I get the sense you track my word in the swing between my gains and hurt. You said you like me when I care less. Translation like me most when I obsessed. You watch the candles rise and fall, but never ask what that does at all to someone who bets with bleeding teeth and stares down risk just to feel relief. Do you only love me when I'm green, when the chart is smooth and the tape is clean? Would you kiss me through a margin call, or cash me out before the fall? Do you only call when I'm up at you ghost when the VIX spikes mad? Is it me you want, or the version who wins? Or are you just here till the trend thins? You laughed when I said this felt like war, but still check the screen before the door. You love to say I live too fast, but you only stayed when the trades would last. Your fingers trace my losses slow. Said you're addicted like I didn't know, but you stayed anyway. Why's that? Just like the high of being in bed. You timed your love like a breakup fake. All signals, no soul, just give and take. You like the version of me who smiled, the one who slept, the one in denial. Do you only love me when I'm green, not the wreck beneath the P&L screen? Would you stay through a drawn out bleed, or are you just here for the dopamine? You only call when the charts define, but duck out when I lose the line. Am I real or just momentum? Would you even love the real sum? You said I was obsessed with the risk. I said, at least I admit it.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're cracking at it again. It is a beautiful, what is it, Wednesday? Ooh, July, carry the 8, divide by pi, the polynomial. I think it's the 16th. I think it's the 16th. If it is not the 16th, feel free to correct me, but I'm like 40% sure that it's Wednesday, July the 16th, but we don't really need to get bogged down in the details, because what we're here for is degeneracy in the world's largest casino, aka the old stonk market. But I also don't want to be exclusive to that. Obviously, options, futures, crypto, forex, and everything in between. Hey, maybe even if the mood strikes, we'll bet on some youth Icelandic soccer. You never know. That league might be popping off. Folks, I have good news and bad news. Good news, I'm super stoked for the day. PPI report came out. It was cooler than expected. Market pop. We are currently slightly above the closing value on the Qs, a little bit more above the closing value on the SPY after yesterday's kind of sell-off. Not only was there quite a bit of profit taking, but we also legitimately saw some bearish trades hitting the tape. So yesterday, not a fun day. And the good part is maybe we have the opportunity with vol expiration, with retail sales tomorrow, and with OPEX on Friday to make back some of the bad news part where your boy got his butt handed to him. The Discord got a front row seat to some of the most horrific trading ever known to man yesterday. I know a lot of the times people like to pay for these premium services for something of unique ability, like something that is good. Like we go to a sporting event to see the best people in the world at said sport. Music, we pay high dollars for the best concert tickets, the best performers. We go to theater to see some of the best actors of a time. I feel like what's really going on here is we've inverted it. You guys are getting a front row seat, especially the Discord, to some of the worst of all time. Like imagine going to a basketball game and they can barely score a point. Imagine going to a concert and the person cannot hit a single note. Imagine going to an acting show, and well, I guess that's pretty much what you guys have here. But yeah, no, you guys are seeing it. Like, and I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, the best trading show of all time. Like, this is the best, blah, 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 blah. So much money. It's so easy. No, we like to do it a little differently here. We like to continually bet on green on the roulette wheel, and then we like to act surprised when it just is not hitting at all, because there's, what, 2 greens and a lot of reds and a lot of blacks. So that's pretty much where we're at. That's pretty much where we're at, team. So I don't know, dude. Whatever. The issues here are above my pay grade. They are very much above my pay grade. But I think I did find out an interesting solution. One of the more observant members of the Discord brought up a very, very interesting question, and I kind of want to dive into it with all of you as we're waiting for more people to come in. Obviously, I have some prepared things we'll go over. We have earnings, we have inflation, we have all that, but as people are trickling in, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. But I do want to dive into an interesting question that a Discord member posed to me yesterday, and it's very, very rare that I get a question that kind of like, whoa, I need to take a minute. I need to really, like, usually it's whatever, a basic question, and you can very quickly regurgitate the response and you move on with your life. But there are a few times, I would say, especially in your adult life, where you're hit with a question and you almost need to pause for a second, and it kind of blindsides you. It almost feels like a Michael Orr situation. It feels like, what is it? Sandra Bullock all of a sudden became my mom. Like, it's one of those types of questions. So late in the afternoon, after absolute travesty in my sim funded accounts, as I was doing everything in the power to not touch my option swing accounts, which I'm actually kind of happy I didn't, I was posed the question of, why don't you stop being retarded? And as basic as that sounds, it's such a phenomenal question. Like I said, sometimes they just hit you pow right in the gut. It's a metaphysical question of just like, damn, that's a good one. Like on any basic day, we all have the opportunity to wake up in the morning, and that could be the day that you stop being retarded. That's a good question. And then it almost makes you wonder, day in and day out, why do we choose to not go down that path? We have 2 paths every morning. The path diverged in the yellow wood, according to, I think, Robert Frost. I'm not really sure who wrote that one. Fun fact, everyone interprets that poem incorrectly. I just want to throw that out there. There's a lot of people who like, 2 paths diverge in a yellow one, and I picked the one less traveled by, and that has always made the difference. Everyone gets the meaning of that poem wrong. I just want to throw that out there. I know we're getting away from the major point of what's going on, but the world needs to know this. There are very few pet peeves in my life. One of them happens to be actual peas. The other one happens to be the mass misinterpretation of that poem. You'll hear that at graduations, at weddings, this and that, and everyone's like, look at me, I'm so fucking different. I picked a different path, the path less traveled by. I'm carrying the logs. Look at me, I'm so different. And that made all the difference. And I know some of you guys in here who know that poem. You're like, yeah, no, that's what the poem means. I'm telling you, you are wrong. And what's weird is you can't actually interpret the proper meaning of the poem from the poem. It's not like there's like subliminal things in the poem. I'm like, oh, how did you not read that line? He wrote the poem as a joke. This is like a documented thing between him and his writer buddies who used to go on walks. Like, literally, he wrote letters making fun of his own poem of like how seriously people take that. So you have to kind of know other things about the author and things going on in his life. But like, there's public record of him, like, he wrote that in jest. Like, it was a complete fucking joke. And he was like trying to like point fun at how everyone takes everything so fucking seriously. So anyway, I know we're getting off the point of what I guess the show is. I don't even know how, dude, honestly, it all comes back to that question I got yesterday, is why not just be less retarded? You could tell, like, I've already gone off the rails, and I guess day one into it, I've already failed, and this time not intentionally, but look at that. Just like that, we're already posing an interesting answer to the original question of why not just be retarded. So I don't know. Maybe today's going to be the new day. Maybe today, July 16th, at the old withered, useless age of 31. Holy shit. Maybe I'll be able to turn things around. Maybe today is that day that I just answer the question. Will I diverge in a yellow wood on the retarded path or the less retarded path? He has a point. No. Israel, just like your country, I do not have a point. Zinger, political comedy. Let's get into the show. That's a good point to get started. S&P 500 slip as investors await more bank earnings and inflation data. Well, we have that inflation data, and it was cool. PPI month over month came in at 0. They were expecting 0.2, less than expected. Same thing with PPI core month over month reading. Looking at year over year, 2.3 versus 2.5, and core 2.6 versus 2.7. So across the board, lower than expected. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to see. And that's exactly why at 8:30, we got a little pippity pop in the SPY, in the Qs, even Bitcoin looking pretty decent right at that moment. I'm going to come to ASML. This had earnings that were not so good, and this is why we dropped from 820 to 760, which is kind of brutal. But anyway, at 8:30, that's kind of the first major news of the day was producer price index. It's important, not as impactful as the CPI, but the fact that CPI was a little mixed, maybe slightly bullish yesterday, going into this, which was generally very bullish given the monetary policy backdrop. That's why things are, at least, I can't say that they're good, but they're not as bad as they were circa, 19 o'clock last night. We are seeing at least a little bit of a push to the upside. The current SPX is 62.55. Obviously, positive gamma around, 61.75. A lot of positive gamma up here. But actually, if we zoom in, you're going to probably see most likely another positive gamma node exactly at 62.50. So whatever. Based on the sell-off yesterday and how it accelerated in post-market, I'll take any green gains I can get at the moment. So that's what happened at 8:30, but I should also let you know at 8:30 I took advantage of that to pass all my Apex tests once again. I have a video on how you can comically easily pass these Apex tests. Folks, if you're having an issue passing an Apex test, dude, that's a you problem at a certain point. It's really not that difficult. In fact, you should have basically a 50-50 hit rate. You should be able to roughly pass every other one, and I use the technique that I have videos on. The Discord knows all about it, so side note, but the link to that video is in the description of the video if you're battling it out with Apex. But I just want to let you know I use that report to pass the test once again, so we're back exactly where we should be. All right, Trump says drug tariff probable by August 1st, downplays more deals. So if you saw the update video yesterday, you know part of the reason why things got a little bit sketchy yesterday was because midday we got a report, an exclusive report from the Wall Street Journal. WSJ had this article about how the Canadian Prime Minister Carney Asada, is that his name? Mr. Prime Minister Carney Asada said, hey, these tariffs from the U.S. might be permanent. That came out around 1 o'clock, and the market got hit. Did not like it. And then on top of it, we found out that we're hitting Indonesia with additional tariffs, and they're not so happy about it, but Trump's saying it's a great deal. So really, the fact that we were doing nothing all day and then we were kind of sideways, then we got some negative news. And when I say negative, I mean news that the headlines really prompted the bots to react to it negatively. They just interpreted the news, quick natural language processing. We took a little bit of a hit, and that's pretty much the TLDR yesterday. Specifically to the crypto sphere, there was some pause in the price of crypto as a whole, but specifically Bitcoin, because there weren't seemingly enough votes. But as you could tell this morning, checking out Bitcoin, there's already kind of a switch back around. So with that in mind, that's the backdrop of this, of talking more about the trade war. And obviously, this is stuff that definitely could have an influence. So very quickly, here's a quick update from Trump. Once again, this is from yesterday.
Pharmaceuticals be tariff probably at the end of the month. And we're going to start off with a low tariff and give the pharmaceutical companies a year or so to build. And then we're going to make it a very high tariff.
Very high tariff.
For more, let's bring in senior editor Bill Ferries. Let's just start with those comments out of President Trump suggesting that tariffs could be coming for both pharmaceuticals and potentially for chip makers as well, Bill. What more do we know?
Yeah, so the timeline is really new here in that Trump is saying that perhaps August 1st, along with tariffs on a lot of other countries, that he sees potential tariffs beginning on pharmaceuticals and semiconductors. He is talking about, particularly with pharmaceuticals, starting at a lower rate, but in recent days he's floated having that rate rise over the course of a year or perhaps 18 months to as high as 200%.
All right, that's the major TLDR you need to know there is like it starts off slow, really ramps up. Large impacts. We found this out yesterday, actually with our trade partner over in the EU, where a lot of our drugs are actually coming from them. So this is going to be specifically impactful on our trade deals and negotiations with the EU bloc. So definitely consider this. Once again, obviously, we are unfortunately in this environment where it's very headline driven. So this is one part of the narrative that I would highly recommend you pay attention to. With all of that, the uncertainty, the market didn't like it. Well, apparently it's getting more traction that Jerome Powell might actually legit be out. I didn't really want to breathe too much oxygen into this story because I just really didn't think that it was going to be possible. But there is growing sentiment that he actually might be resigning in August. Jerome Powell is going to be fired. Firing is imminent. So when I see it from certain political people, such as Representative Anna Luna here, I don't really buy much into it because it's just going to be like a hardcore MAGA support type thing. But it's actually starting to get picked up by, let's say, quote unquote, more credible news sources. Like I said, I really wasn't trying to put much oxygen into this one, but this might be happening, folks. Old Jay Powell might be out before the summer's out. So pay attention to it. And I'm sure we're going to get some commentary, questions, and updates next week, and then definitely on July 30th when they had the FOMC meeting. But this is another thing that might be prompting a bit of uncertainty. And with that, like I said, it's getting actual tension. Hassett grabs pole position in race to be Trump's new Fed chair. This is the National Economic Council advisor, Hassett. So I guess it's between two different Kevins of who it might be, and they might be stepping in earlier than expected. The whole thing, a little bit crazy.
You said previously the interview process would begin later on in the fall. There's been plenty of speculation as to whether that process would be brought forward. Mr. Secretary, do you still, as far as you understand, believe that's when the interview process to replace the Fed chair will begin in the fall, or has a formal process already started?
Well, look, there's a formal process that's already starting. There are a lot of great candidates, and we'll see how rapidly it progresses. It's President Trump's decision, and it will move at his speed.
Do you see any merit at all in selecting maybe a candidate that's already on the committee on the FOMC versus taking a look at someone outside of the Federal Reserve?
Again, there are a lot of good candidates inside and outside the Federal Reserve, Jonathan.
Has the chairman himself, the Fed chair, Jay Powell, given you any indication whatsoever as to what he would do once his term has expired? Will he vacate his seat as the governor of the Federal Reserve?
Ooh,
well, traditionally, the Fed chair also steps down as a governor, and there's been a lot of talk of a shadow Fed chair causing confusion in advance of his or her nomination. And I can tell you, I think it'd be very confusing for the market for a former Fed chair to stay on also.
So he's basically saying, hey, we actually legit want him out. So I don't know, just for the third time to reiterate this, I'm a little hesitant to breathe oxygen into it because I don't know if it's just whatever, like politicking, but this might become a thing, and obviously that would have massive implications on monetary policy because we know whoever's put in would probably be using their power to cut rates and cut them aggressively. So this, like, even though I give it a small probability, it's worthwhile to talk about because this small probability could have massive implications. So I just wanted everyone to be prepared. But obviously, we could dive a little bit deeper into it if it seems to become a little bit more real. Now, I see some people in chat talking about Trump just can't get rid of him. You're 100% right. But we're not talking about Trump just getting rid of him. We're talking about Powell actually resigning. He can quit the job when he wants, folks. You could argue that this is Trump forcing him out because of the friction that is being created between the two. That's right, but this isn't him firing him. We're just talking about him potentially resigning in August. And I know that on Twitter, whoever that was, Anna Luna, she's saying, oh, firing. No, it would be very, very, very difficult for Trump. Not impossible, would probably get caught up in the legal process so long that we'd already be at the end of his tenure. So is he going to get fired? No. Could he, I don't know, could there be enough friction that it's just easier for him to resign? Well, maybe we're going to find out. All right, I want to talk a little bit about Bitcoin. Big story of the week, big story really of the day. But most recently, when I've been showing you guys this, Bitcoin was up 106% year to date. And as you can see, as of this morning, not as much as we used to be. We were at 123.2. We're down to 118. We're having a little bit of a breather. Obviously, things got hit, and then we recaptured all this EMA. Things are starting to look pretty decent. I want to get into why we had the dip and now potentially an additional push to the upside. Crypto bounces on renewed optimism. House could pass key stable coin legislation this week. There's a very good chance when you closed down your charts and turned off your computer yesterday, the last thing you heard about crypto was, they aren't passing anything. In fact, all these bills failed. Well, in an overnight session, that's how things change, and they change so quickly. Trump says crypto regulation bills that failed to advance earlier now have the votes to move forward. Several cryptocurrency-related bills backed by the president failed to clear a key procedure hurdle in the House of Representatives. Hours later, Trump said the Republican skeptics have all agreed to vote in favor of the rule after a short discussion. So just like that, it changes very, very quickly. Trump says GOP crypto dispute resolved after White House meeting.
It is so-called Crypto Week in Washington, D.C. That's seen Bitcoin surge to new highs. What is the latest there? What sort of legislation might we be getting?
Well, it looks like this is Crypto Week in Washington, as you mentioned, and there was some delay in getting some of the initial rules passed to allow legislation to come up in the House. President Trump said that's going forward. This has been legislation long sought by the industry. It would include switching some of the oversight, regulatory oversight of the crypto industry from the SEC to the CFTC. That's seen as a more friendly place for the industry. And it would also require a dollar-for-dollar backing of some of these stable coins. So those are some key issues that basically crypto backers believe will help more widespread adoption. And it looks like some of that legislation will likely get through this week.
Will likely get through this week. It was those few words that Bitcoin's like, all right, we'll give it a shot. Now, is this just a momentary pullback for another rip? Maybe. I mean, we did find roughly support between 117 and 116 where we did before. This could just be a higher low and we pop off of it. Obviously, if you're getting into it, pay attention to your risk. I kind of like the 117 risk. If we get above this 120 and some change level, I would say the bulls really have a legitimate shop. And one of the things you could easily do to kind of track what is or isn't going on is looking at the options flow into IBIT, IBIT. I would say that's going to be a pretty good bellwether, at least from a derivatives market perspective, of the optimism or potential pessimism. All right, on top of all that, we are in earnings season. So yesterday, we had a bunch of financial players, not so good. XLF, the financial subsector of the S&P 500, pretty much got hit all day yesterday. So did energy, so did healthcare. Pretty much everything did except for tech. This morning, a little bit different. We heard from another group of financial players, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, PNC. But the one I also want to get into is ASML, obviously in the world of semiconductors. So kicking off with these banks, Bank of America puts up mixed results as net interest income misses analyst expectations. So BAC, that's Bank of America, currently up 1% in pre-market trading. Goldman Sachs tops estimates as traders generate 840 million more revenue than expected. I guess it's a good day to be working at Goldman Sachs because that's a lot of dinero, up about 0.7%. Morgan Stanley earnings top estimates on increased trading revenue. Morgan Stanley is MS. They're actually slightly down. So really the picture, I would argue, across all of these earnings is a mixed bag for financials. The first batch of them didn't do so well. Citi actually did very well, but the other ones didn't. Then this morning, Bank of America, Goldman, like generally better today. Morgan Stanley, really the only red one that's missing. So mixed bag. The clear thing that we are seeing, the clear evident thread, is the trading subunits of all these banks absolutely crushed it in the last quarter. And now this brings us to one that is getting demolished. ASML. Sent to the depths of Valhalla, closed out the day at 823, currently trading at 754, down 8% in pre-market trading. Brutal. ASML falls most since April after CEO walks back the growth forecast. ASML was down 6.5, now it's down 8 after the chip giant says it can't confirm that it will grow in 2026. So oddly enough, it actually beat on expectations, but it was this forward-looking guidance that the market's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
If we look at its order bookings number in Q2, it's about 5.5 billion euros. So it should be slightly better than expected. So I think that the market may be a bit relieved and to see the number. And in Q1, the number was 3.9 billion euro. And if we have to look the numbers in detail, but its order booking in Q2 should be pretty similar number to the revenue level. So probably book-to-bill ratio should be around 1.0. So that's a quite maybe relieving number. And but if we look at the Q3 revenue numbers, probably the market consensus seems to be maybe aiming at around 8 billion euro. And now ASML is guiding around in the midpoint 7.65 billion euro. So slightly.
Why does it feel like he's staring into my soul?
Lower than the kind of consensus level, but still the company could
like
achieve growth in 2025. Saying 25 growth should be possible. So overall numbers should be fine, I guess.
Is there anything you're going to be watching out for in the coming analyst call? Some of the key topics, perhaps around tariffs or China. What are you watching out for?
Yes, the most important point should be the maybe its a growth outlook in 2026 or 2027, and the company is now saying that the new, the most advanced high-end EUV equipment they shipped the first one in Q2. So probably if they can keep the growth momentum for the high-end EUV tools going forward, that should be the maybe we can say that the growth scenario is intact for ASML. And also, as you say, that ASML's revenue in China could be another focus, and they have some restrictions to export to China, and we have to see the numbers in Q2 for the China revenue. But going forward, whether they see still solid demand from China or not should be a very important part.
All right, so besides the fact that he was staring into the depths of our soul, you need to know they beat. This AI boom, their numbers definitely beat, but the stock's getting so, I guess, absolutely destroyed this morning because they walked back all of their commentary of like, well, we're going to grow. So they still might be fine here, but the fact that the company itself is showing less optimism, the market, I would argue, is overreacting, but it's definitely reacting. Now, with the respect to the remainder of today, if you're an energy trader, crude oil inventories coming out at 10:30, but that's the last major thing of today. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be getting the retail sales at 8:30. I guess before that, the inflation report out of the Eurozone and also some manufacturing numbers. So an hour before the market opens tomorrow, expect more volatility. Actually, probably going to be a great opportunity to pass those apex tests if that's something that you are attempting to do. Or if you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter, macroeconomic.locals.com. It'll come to your email inbox every single weekend. It is 100% free. I break down what's going on in the market, cheat sheet of earnings, cheat sheet of all the major macroeconomic events, and then the seasonality for each day. I do want to let you know that over the past 27 years, the Bulls have only won this day 44% of the time, as in the Bears have won it 56% of the time, as in the bias is bearish. So is that the end all be all? No, but the seasonality of today is bearish. Tomorrow is neutral, and then Friday back to being bullish. And on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right, let's see if we can actually recover today. Both the SPY and the Qs opening above their closing value yesterday on a little bit of optimism due to the producer price index inflation report that came out at 8:30 today. All right, let's have all this. We're on the 1 minute. Let's get this all set up. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour, all bullish. In the smallest of time frames to the mediumest of time frames, we are above all these EMAs, at least to start the day off. So that should be exciting. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour, once again, all bullish. All right, let's set all these alerts up just in case things get crazy. Just in case things get a little bit crazy. All right, and then here are my key levels of the day. Feel free to write them down. Feel free to do whatever you want with them. Obviously, I always mark out the previous trading sessions high, low, and close. That is the green, the red, and the white. The white box is the 0DT, gamma, and delta transition zone from the perspective of market makers. Obviously, we opened up right there. Surprise, surprise, got rejected. Above it is thought to be bullish. Below it is thought to be bearish. Within it is thought to be kind of choppy, indecisive. The final thing are these yellow, golden horizontal lines. That's where we just see major open interest levels, like statistically significant open interest levels, as in a lot of players from both the market and from the market maker. Oh, shit. Oh,
Target filled.
All right. I'm doing something a little different today that I probably shouldn't be doing.
Order submitted.
I was too slow to react. Shit, it should have been out. I messed it up. I messed this one up big time, Tonto. All right, so one of them locked in. The other, I was way too slow to react. All right. All right. All right. Can I just get lucky then? If you can't do it properly, can you just
Order
get
filled.
lucky? Okay, I did get lucky.
Order
All right,
canceled.
so that one locked in. So I have one more. And now 48. Can I just do a protective OCO buy stop
Order
market,
submitted.
48 and then 25.
Order submitted.
All right, so locked in, and then we have a runner. Locked in with a runner, not a bad deal. Actually, we're going to move this down to VWAP right here, 22. All right. So
Order
that's fine.
canceled.
Get stopped out. Doesn't matter. A runner's a runner. So locked in 200, 200, and 200. I'm just trading on these Tradeify accounts right now. As you can see, I already passed the Apex test this morning with the PPI report. And then I just needed one more scratch trade on all these take profit accounts. So the $5, $5, $5, $5. These are, today is day 5 of these trading. So we are looking good there. What I need to do is figure something out. All right, how can I change? All right, so thus far, pretty good start. A little crazy out of the gate, but basically took that one trade. The entire concept of it was to lock in the buffer and then see if you could catch the runner. The runner did not run on that one, so it just got stopped out for break even. Those stop outs are going to happen most of the time, but you do it just because for every so often you might be able to catch something big and actually get something going. And even here, obviously it would have gone all the way to what I wanted it to. It's a little bit of a bummer that didn't work out for me, but hey, it is what it is. So We'll see if I can handle the second one a bit better. But hey, not bad. $600, 200, 200, 200. So where was I at? Okay, these are not going exactly where NQ is getting hit a little bit harder. I had Bitcoin up. I definitely want this alert. I'm once again getting re-interested in a Bitcoin long, if I'm being honest with you folks. If I'm being honest, it feels like Bitcoin might be gearing up for something. ASML is getting hit even worse out of the gate. Jesus. All right. So the Qs already took out the closing and the low value from yesterday. That is not good for my Q call positions at all. The SPY's just going sideways. No specialty direction really there thus far. So patience. All right, here's a look at the gamma map. I'll go to the 1 minute and we'll zoom in just so you guys can see a little bit more. Quite a bit. We're actually kind of in a gamma node right now, roughly around 6250. There's a lot of gamma down here at 6180. That's quite a few sold puts. So once again, that's a neutral to bullish bet. This player is betting that we close out the day above 6180, probably betting on 6200 and 6250, basically acting as support, which if you ask me, I think that's a pretty reasonable bet. So this is a look at the market for right now. We don't need this. SPY still going sideways. Tesla pop, recapturing that 310 level is looking pretty good yesterday. Bit of a sell-off, but maybe it can recover this morning. Currently trading at 314. It's actually the largest gainer on my watch list this morning. NVIDIA's green. I'm impressed that NVIDIA is holding above that 170 positive gamma node. Palantir is ripping. Palantir, I believe that's a new all-time high. Netflix slightly in the green. The big show for Netflix is tomorrow with its earnings. Apple's in the green. Apple's fighting. Apple's doing its thing. Okay, Apple, what do you got? Show us what you got today, Apple. That's not generally Apple's the one ruining my life, but hey, it's at least green. Netflix could be better. Palantir's looking great. NVIDIA's looking pretty good. Tesla's looking somewhat decent. You got some opportunity today, folks. You definitely got some opportunity. How is this going? Okay, what could I do right now to quickly fix my problem? What could I do to quickly fix this problem? I tried to write some janky code this morning to fix it. Obviously, it did not work. But what could we do right now while the show's still on to fix my code issue? Man, if I gave that one a little bit more leeway, that would have been a good trade. But hey, coulda, woulda, shoulda. SoFi beat, estimate a few quarters. What is your take on this time? I don't know the fundamentals of SoFi whatsoever, but I do like the technicals. I don't trade off of fundamentals. I invest based off of fundamentals. So in the short to medium term, I have no fundamental breakdown whatsoever on SoFi. But obviously this is very bullish. Your last entry was somewhere in early to mid-June right here. You can't chase it now. Not long ago, it was trading at 14. You're telling me you want to buy it at a 50% markup? Folks, in real life, you want your favorite things, but you want to buy them for cheap. The stock market is no different. If you legitimately like SoFi, why would you pay a 50% premium? Imagine going to your favorite like ice cream parlor and like you're always getting like double chocolate chip, and then all of a sudden they're like, actually it's 50% more. Are you going to buy it, or are you going to wait for it to be at its normal price or even on discount? You want to buy, like, if you think SoFi is a good long-term investment, you don't want to be buying at a premium. But as a trader, like I said, this was the breakout point somewhere in here. It just had these higher lows and it rejected. But honestly, I would say the last time you really had a long entry was on June the 18th, maybe the 24th, if you were willing to be a little bit chasey. But it was this breakout day. You had the 11th, you had the 18th, excuse me. These were the times you could get in because you had well-defined risk and you were playing the overall trend. But at this point, you're like, by definition, you are chasing. So if you're in it, ride the trend. I'm saying this looks absurdly bullish in my humble opinion, but that doesn't mean that I would be entering, because you have to consider your risk. And at this point, what's your risk? Is it 17? Is it 14? Is it 12? My point is, you're taking on too big of a percentage risk. You're chasing a move that's already been playing out. So you're a little bit too late to the party. But if you're already at the party, yeah, ride the trend as long as it lasts. Like, this is a very, very bullish looking setup. We got some beautiful technical breakouts. If anything, the next big technical test is all the way up here at 24. And then past that, you're talking about the all-time high at 28. So like, things are looking very, very good for it. But just because they're looking good in a snapshot doesn't mean it's the appropriate time for you to get in or to get out. Those are definitely two distinct things. Tesla getting a continuation on this pop. SPY is going perfectly sideways. Perfectly sideways. How far into a rise is it not worth buying into? It's how far away is your risk? The answer to that question is, what is your risk? What is your risk tolerance? So like, you might be okay risking 5%. Someone else might be okay risking 15%. Someone else might only be okay risking 2 or 3%. So for you, you have to look at at what point would price action have to adversely go against you where you would admit you're wrong. So you find your risk point, you measure it, and you say, okay, like, are you willing to take that percentage risk? And if you are, then you have to do the appropriate bet size, where if you are wrong, like, your account can still handle it. So it's different from person to person to person. I find life to be far easier to identify a larger time frame trend, wait for the shorter term trend to reverse against that, as in, let's say the SoFi, the larger trend right now is bullish, wait for the medium trend to go bearish, and then wait for that trend to go back in phase, in alignment with the larger trend. So I look for a mismatch between the two, and then it's on that realignment or on the attempted realignment where I personally like to trade. I think that's where you can get in with optimal risk to reward setups, and you're playing the prevailing trend, which I personally find has better odds trading with the trend rather than against it, especially when you're talking about large, like, swing plays and investments. In terms of active trading, like little scalp trading, day trading, the story is a bit different. Is TDTH clearly a pump and dump? Most of the time, if you have to ask, the answer is yes. TDTH. Yeah. Yes. These are American depository shares, as in this isn't even an American company. Very, very evidently. Dude, Ivan, what the fuck about this did you even possibly think? Like, it sounds like you were 99% sure that this is a pump and dump, the fact that you asked it. But my question is where's even this 1% question in you that this might not be a pump and dump? And like, I'll give you a bit of applause and a bit of a recognition. Like, it sounds like you were 99% sure that this is a pump and dump. But still, how are you not, like, I'm just concerned that even 1% of you might have thought that this was an opportunity. American depository shares, as in this is not a U.S. company. They just did these ADRs so it could trade on our market. They set a part of them. Yeah, some random ass. This company was founded by Soon Huat Lam in 2014, is headquartered in Singapore. No, dude. No. I was in early, but got out /face. Why are you trading this to begin with, dude? You don't touch things like this. The way you, first of all, you guys in here, unless you have the proper shorting setup, like the proper brokerage that can get you the hard to borrow shares, and you know what you're doing, like, that's the time you engage with these, and you engage with them by shorting them when they inevitably collapse. Other than that, you guys should not be touching these, like, whatsoever, like, at all. There are very, very few of you in here who are going to have the setup and even really the capital requirement. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to do to engage in these types of stocks. And when you do engage, it's to bet against them. If you are getting, like, thinking that this is a long opportunity, that's just fucking nuts, dude. That's absolutely nuts. Speaking of that, how's the other one going? Oh, wow. Oh, no. No one saw this coming. No one saw. No, it's already down 23%. Oh, shucks. Who saw that? Oh, no. Who saw that coming? 109 down to 40. Ah, geez, that was unpredictable. What's the other one that we recently checked in on? Workhorse. Oh, God. Who saw... No. Short lab. It's just these dark pools, man. The fact that these super high quality future blue chip stocks are going down, it's not because they're bad companies. I want to make this clear. It's not because they're bad companies. Yeah. It's because of short ladder attacks. It's short ladder attacks in dark pools. It has nothing to do with the fact that they are amazing companies. I just want that. I want that on the record that this is manipulation. It's the dang globalists. Dare I say it? It's the fucking globalists. Man, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. It's almost as if these dog shit companies always fail after a pop. Of course, YouTube makes XP game, PTW. I don't know who that is. It's a short extension ladder attack. Could be. Not bad companies, just bad people. No, bad companies and bad people. I would say it has the interesting combination of the two. I bought puts in proc on Robinhood. Are you up money? I haven't touched any of those. I should set up a short brokerage account just to like prove it to you guys. It feels like those are easier plays sometimes than options. Like, dude, these things are screaming that they want to be shorted. Like absolutely screaming. Just they're saying, short me, daddy, short me. Like they're just all so bad. And that's a decent amount of money that could be made on these. A good grip of money, 285. That's already like, if you shorted that breakdown, you're already up 23%. Dude, you put 10 grand in that, you're already up 2.3K. That's not a bad deal. Inevitably, you get to ride it back down to $1. Like these, look at this. Dude, catching these shorts, they just die. They just get absolutely horrifically destroyed. But yeah, Proc's going the same way. It's a matter of time. Gravity wins out. When it comes to these shitty penny stocks, these pump and dumps, gravity wins out. As much as you throw the ball into the air, it's coming back down to earth. Earth for proc is $1. Given enough time, I'm willing to bet a lot of money that this bad boy is going to be back at $1. AMC is in this. This is another shitty pump dump. It's pumping again. Just gravity wins out, folks. Gravity. I know it's just a theory, but it's a pretty dang good one. Tesla's going today. Tesla 313 to 318, up 2.4%. Palantir did hit, I believe that's an all-time high. Yes, it is. So dingity. So Tesla having a great day. Palantir not so much intraday, but obviously a record day for it. Apple's having a decent day as well. Tesla is the worst penny stock. Well, it's not a penny stock. It has actually a legit business. Short $1 puts with time off 450 a few days back up. I don't know what that even possibly means. I don't know what that means, but all right, here's a look. What are the big? So the big guys I do want to bring to your attention were pretty much net sellers ever since 10:30 yesterday. Almost as if someone knew that the story wouldn't be so good related to the Prime Minister of Canada, Mr. Carne Asada, and then also the Indonesia stuff. But the big players were selling all day. Let's see if today is any different. We have that, and then we also have Bookmap. Oh, by the way, so I was able to get you guys a pretty amazing deal on Bookmap. It is pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video, but feel free to check that out. bookmap.com. Like I said, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Simply clicking on that link will bring you to this website with the deals applied. So that's exactly like, this is good for if you're a day trader, scalp trader, and you want to see where all those sitting buy orders and sitting sell orders are. I use it on NQ. I use it on ES. You could use it on equities. You could use it on crypto. Yes, they do have that, but it gives you a heat map of all the sitting buy and sell orders. And it also gives you an indication of the recent aggressive buying and selling. I think it's a pretty cool tool. Like I said, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And then also, I think I fucked this one up. Yeah, just a friendly neighborhood reminder that you could get 80% off of Apex with that code Goonie. And that's exactly what I did to pass all these tests this morning. It was easy peasy lemon squeezies. If you are having an issue passing the Apex test, I'm telling you, like, just watch the video. It's in the description of the video. It's there. You could easily pass it. I do it by the rate that I blow out. I've gotten very good at passing these tests because I'm unfortunately forced to do it all of the time. So make sure you are using that code Goonie to get that 80% off, also in the description of the video. So check out Bookmap, check out Apex, and holy guacamole, we are getting hit right now. Well, Tesla isn't. Holy guacamole. What is going on? Dude, look at that. They are just goosing it. That's just selling. So remember, the colorized stuff, the heat map, are your sitting buy and sell orders. Your sitting sell orders are above, your sitting buy orders are below. And then the bubbles are the aggressive buying that occurred, as in the buyers traversed the spread and hit the ask. And then the red bubbles are the aggressive sell orders, as in the seller traversed the spread and hit the buy. So the bubbles are aggressive buying and selling, and then the colorized stuff are where the passive orders are sitting. So right now, you can see there's a bunch of passive orders sitting at 22,970, and guess exactly where we bounce. We bounce off that wall of buyers. Now, are they going to hold? I don't know. They could pull the order. Maybe they're going to get filled. Maybe there's more aggressive selling that overwhelms that liquidity. You kind of don't know that part, but right here, we see it started to get filled, and then boom, bounce right off of it. And it looks like we are going for the second test. See how they move the order down? That was actually pretty cool. You could see it in real time as it was getting closer. They moved the order down by 5 points. Like literally as it was getting right to it, they dropped the order from 70 to 65. Once again, if it's below it, those are sitting buy orders. So they could be buying to get into a position, buying to get out. All I could tell you is it's a sitting buy order. Most likely it's buying to get out. Most likely it's the target of someone already with a short position. But technically you can't be 100% confident about that. But anyway, aggressive selling. We took out this buy side liquidity. We took out this buy side liquidity. We took out this buy side liquidity. This one kind of got hit and then it was moved down. And right now we're just stuck between these two zones. Some people are trying to sell at 980. Some people are trying to buy at 965. And we're going to see who wins out. Once again, this is called Bookmap. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. There's a whole host of offers for you guys, but you can get going with it, at least on a test trial, for very, very cheap. So check it out. And I would say this is an optimal tool if you're an active day trader, scalp trader. If you're a person who likes to get in and out, I don't personally use this, and I just want to be transparent with all of you. I don't personally use it for like swing trading, but I'm sure there maybe are ways to do it. But I find that this tool has the highest utility for like active traders. Is your Bookmap in real time or delayed? Mine's real time. How having delayed Bookmap would not be useful at all, in my opinion. It's kind of either use it in real time or don't, but you could also see the time right below it. You could see that it's in real time. What is this? Oh, good. Fed Bar speaking live at 10. Yeah, yesterday Fed Collins was talking. The market didn't like that so much. But anyway, shout out to Bookmap. And remember, if you're trying to have some degenerate fun in Sim Defunded, you could get 80% off for the next 8 days if you use that code Goonie. And to all of you guys who end up engaging with whatever, if you sign up for Public, if you sign up for Bookmap, if you're using the code Goonie on Take Profit Trader, on whatever, Vanquish, on Apex, on all that stuff. I just want to say thank you. It really does help out. And honestly, it's why we can put on this show for free, is because we're able to keep the lights on and pay the employees and all the other things that we have to do through like the fact that you guys choose to engage with these guys. So I honestly, just to all of you guys who have ever done it, are thinking about doing it, actively do it all the time, thank you. It's honestly how we keep this show rocking. So it does mean quite a bit to not only me, but the entire team. All right, Tesla taking well, now things are turning. Is your bookmark? That's just their pricing structures. Oh wait, they have delayed. They offer delayed. Okay, I guess I'm letting you know what I do. I use real time because as a real time trader, I want real time data. I didn't even realize that they do delayed data. That's strange to me. Your personal opinion, Matt, do you think crypto will drop in the short term if the law passes next week? Sell the news. I would say there's a 50-50 shot. 50% chance it goes up, 50% chance it goes down. I don't know. When it comes to the active trading, it's just so much easier to just react to breakouts, breakdowns, react to big pivotal updates and options flow. The game of prediction, it's fun. Like, we could attempt to predict, does the SPY bounce off of this support zone where we're at right now? We know that there's a lot of open interest right at 6240, which happens to align with yesterday's low and close. This is an interesting prediction. You could do it, but also you're going to be right half the time, you're going to be wrong half the time. What you should do is either react to the bounce or react to the breakdown. I personally would be more predictive of a bounce, and if I start to see that play out, because it does align with the longer term trend of the market right now, or even the medium term trend, great, I have minimal risk. If I see a reversal, I can react by going long, risking the low, and if I'm wrong, it's a paper cut. If I'm right, I get to ride it all the way back up. Are you going to be right every time? No, you're going to be right half the time. Are you going to be wrong every time? No, you're going to be wrong half the time. So for you to be net profitable, it's all about how do you manage that risk to reward. So bringing this to the conversation directly on crypto, here's a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay, so we obviously had this pop, came down to support. They tried to push it below, did not get pushed below, found clear equilibrium around 117, 116. So this seems to be a nice, kind of line in the sand of if we could hold that, seems like the bulls are still fully in control. So if you can get in with a risk level that you are comfortable with, knowing that this is where you have to kind of admit you're wrong, okay, you could have a stab at it. But as for am I just going to sit here and predict up or down? I mean, I can, but I'm going to be right half the time. I'm going to be wrong half the time. So it's more of reacting to these developments. If we see positive news and then we see the options market go crazy and then we see the price structure starting to look good and we can identify that low risk opportunity to enter, yeah, you ride it, you hope for the best, and then whether it does or doesn't hit, you move on to the next one. With that in mind, remember, this is going to be normally distributed. There's going to be a Gaussian curve, a normal bell curve, which is the most nerdy fucking way to say you're going to be right half the time, you're going to be wrong half the time. So just accept that. I know right now in the guru furu space, you see it all the time of people at 80, 90, 95% win strategy. All I fucking do is win, no matter what, brother. Folks, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. You can easily have a strategy that is right 95% of the time and loses money. You could have a strategy that is right 5% of the time and is net profitable. It has to do with, you're going to have these percentages of how often you're right or wrong, but then you have to look at the average win size and the average loss size. And that's where I find the conversation in retail trading starts to just kind of disappear, is people care about the percentage of time they're right, and they're not focusing on the other aspects of the equation that are arguably more impactful. How often you're right, multiplied by the average win size, and then you take away how often you're wrong, multiplied by the average loss size. And it's that little final thing, the average loss size, that I think we all, myself included, need to have a lot more respect for, because a lot of the times you could have these amazing high percentage win strategies, but as soon as you take one loss, if the average loss size is massive, you might lose the entire account. or that is also part of the conversation of, especially in the world of retail trading, we tend to oversize. And once again, hey, my hand's up there. I'm guilty of this too. I'm definitely not a perfect trader. We like, all of a sudden, if your average loss size is too big and you decide to double, triple, quadruple that particular trade size, well, if variance is about to hit you and you're getting like truly that bad, like that particular bad beat on that trade, the account's gone. Like the account is gone. Matt, you use spot gamma? I literally use spot gamma every single day. It's literally up on my, like I have a tab of it right here. I'm just looking at where the positive gamma is, seeing if we could get a bounce. The spot gamma implied one-day move low is 6220. This is their own proprietary measure of vol, by the way. But here's the 5-minute. So that might be an interesting target. It also does happen to overlap. Here's the 10-minute with a key open interest level at 6220. So maybe we bounce out of it. I can tell you we're on the bottom side of the transition zone, which for day trading generally means the bears in that short term are in control. But I also do just want to remind you that we are at a key level. We could easily bounce here. We're at the turn of an hour. I'm not really feeling too optimistic or pessimistic one way or the other. Like I said, I'm attempting to keep myself grounded and just react to the developments. Do we bounce? Cool. Can I play the bounce? Do we get a continuation to the downside? Cool. Can I play that? It's just basically attempting to identify trends, trend reversals, and taking advantage of said trends and said trend reversals with minimal risk. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. That's exactly what changed my trading to be profitable, obsessing about the win versus loss sizing. Well, that's actually kind of the secret key that I hear from a lot of profitable retail traders who have transitioned from not being profitable to profitable is, for whatever reason, we start off with this obsession of trying to be right all the time. And you kind of just have to let that vision of grandeur go. You're not going to be right all the time. The best traders take losses about half the time. The best trader in the world was wrong half the time. So I think once you can divorce yourself from the thought of you just have to be right, and make money every single day, and be right every single trade. No. You really don't at all, actually. All of a sudden, just go through the thought process. Maybe try it for one trading day. Give me one trading week. And I know that it probably sounds crazy and I know you don't want to do it, but give me one trading week where you just accept the fact that you're going to be right half the time and wrong half the time. Every single time you get into a trade, just assume it's going to be 50-50, but then start to focus on minimizing your risk. And whenever your risk is, well, you're going to be break even if your reward is the same payout as your risk. And then all of a sudden, if you go for 2x that, maybe you're risking 1 ATR, but then you start to go for 2 ATR, well, all of a sudden, now you're going to be net ahead. So I would say it's this borderline paranoia, a pure obsession with your downside risk. That is the common trait that I see in all very, very good, hyper successful traders. It's just hey, on whatever percentage chance, I'm probably going to be wrong. And if this does happen to be wrong, how bad is it going to get? And it's actually that exact thought process that where I got blown out yesterday was I was already beyond my max risk. And then I added on 2 more contracts for just pure luck, and then pure luck didn't hit. It happens. It happens. And I've thought a lot about this of why the retail space, the education or the edge, what's that combo word between education and entertainment? Edutainment, where it's kind of what we do here. We bullshit, but then I try to sneak in actual good lessons for you guys. Edutainment, I believe it's called. I think people in the sphere like myself, you'll post things and then you just kind of get shit on by the internet. They're like, you only have a 60% hit rate? That's trash. You have a 70% hit rate? That's trash. You get this negative wave of trolling if you start to post things like that. And it doesn't matter if it's net profitable. In fact, it could be massively net profitable. And then yet, because so many dimwits are trained to only focus on your hit rate, if it's not perfect, they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And It's just because, like, I guess this is almost the rubber band effect of so many years of dipshits with their MacBooks posting a picture on top of their Lambo and be like, I fucking traded for 10 minutes today, and this is the life you could have if you just weren't such a pussy. Like, dumb shit like that. And they don't, like, that's not real trading. Those people aren't traders. They're marketers. These people make almost 99% of their money from marketing and their premium groups. And they're probably net losers on their trading. And that's not all of them. I actually know some people who run very large groups and businesses, and they're also good traders. But they just carry themselves differently. They talk about the market differently. And you guys know it. You can see how certain people talk and how other people's do. And it's interesting. There's a certain rhetoric and demeanor of people who are never willing to show you their trades. They're never willing to show you their broker statements. They're never willing to trade in real time. It's always Monday morning quarterbacking. Like, we all know there's that vibe, and they all have the same excuses. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter in the past. Like, let's trade now. Let's do it for real. And then there's other people who, like, are just always generally a little bit calmer and like, yeah, no, this is where I'm at on the week, the month, the year. This is how things have been going. It's a very different vibe. Very, very different vibe. I backtested a strat that had positive EV. I'm break even after 2 months live. How do I improve? Sometimes there is variance like that. The answer to that directly, and this is what I was studying in my master's program, is there are statistical measures you could use to have a % confidence of the strategy either breaking down or not. But 2 months, I don't know how often the strat, like, I would need additional details about the strategy, but my knee-jerk reaction is that could just be variance. Like, it just happens. It could easily be variance. It also could be that the edge is lost. Like, and once again, that takes a more in-depth statistical look at it. But what you could do, especially now with like the advent of people using AI for everything, load it all in, load in the data, ask the AI to do like a higher end statistical breakdown, and you might be able to get something useful from it. But I don't know. I'm kind of in the dark because I just don't know the details of your strategy. Might be a good strategy, might be a bad strategy, could be variance. You might not be executing it properly. Maybe you didn't account for slippage. Maybe you didn't account for commissions. Like, there's endless amount of things that we could talk about right there. 5-minute breaking down, 10-minute testing, 30-minute testing, 4-hour testing. 5-minute breaking down, 10-minute breaking down, 30-minute breaking down, 4-hour testing. That's actually not so good. Not so good. All right. But we are seemingly stalling out, finding support at the previous close and the previous low. And this is what drives me crazy, is the amount of like gurus, furus right here trying to predict, will this bounce or will this break down? You cannot do that. Inevitably, the decision of the market to bounce or break down is going to be made by people who are about to trade. It's in the future. It's people who are about to execute, excuse me, are about to execute positions. You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know if a bunch of retail traders are going to hop in on one side of the trade. You don't know if there's going to be a fat finger mistake at a hedge fund. You don't know if various bot systems are going to fight, if they're going to agree, if someone fat fingers those. You don't know if there's going to be a random announcement. The amount of variables involved in the decision of do we bounce or break down is literally borderline infinite. It might as well be infinite. It's pure luck. But yet, the amount of people who are taking this trade right now, and they're like, no, dude, it's got to break down. It's got to, you don't know. You're going to be right half the time. You're going to be wrong half the time. But this idea, and so many people fall for it time and time again, that, oh, like, no, like, you can predict it. Dude, you can't predict it. You cannot predict whether this bounces or if it breaks. You just don't know. And the reason you don't know is because you don't know what other traders are about to do or why they're going to do it. You don't know if they're day traders, scalp traders, long-term investors. You don't know if it's a giant pension fund. You don't know if it's high frequency traders. You don't know what they're seeing. You don't know what they're reacting to. And you also have to appreciate the fact that there's millions of them all making those decisions at one moment. And we see the net reaction to all of that. You see, that's all it is the net reaction to it. What I can tell you is there has not been that much. We're getting some buying now. I'm seeing more green dots. We got some buyers coming in, attempting to potentially make this a fake out breakdown. Let's see. Right here. I mean, it wouldn't be the most insane thing to bounce off of a high open interest level, the previous close and the previous low. This is obviously going to be a big battle. And if the bears show up and they crack it, yeah, we're talking about 220. We might be talking about 6,200. The bulls might decide, hey, this is a good dip to be bought. Support. We've bounced here multiple times before. This is a key level. We danced around here, got rejected. Support. So will this be support for the fourth time? Your guess is as good as mine. If I had to predict, which remember, you don't make money from predicting, yes, I would predict that we bounce. But I know I'm also going to be right half the time, wrong half the time. So the way you take advantage of this is just by getting in where you can with minimal risk and see if you can ride it and get a nice trend back to the upside. That's how you play it. 50-50 chance, fourth time support. Pretty much. Just play it as if you know you're going to be wrong and just go from there. Size it, bet it as if yep, I don't think this is going to go my way, but you're taking a shot. Like I said, if I had to predict, yeah, I think maybe we have a better shot of it going up than down, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Oh, typo in my coffee thoughts. Where the fuck? How did I have a typo? What did I typo wrong? Oops. All right, let me fix that. Fixed. All right, cool. We did that very, very quickly. The big guys are slightly selling today, but not as much as see yesterday how the big guys were just selling all day. Right now, there's only slight selling. So something to keep in mind. That was a good amount of buying, but we were running into clear reason. That's a lot of passive selling right at 23,000. Obviously, there's going to be selling there. That's a key psychological level, key technical level that quite a few people are going to react to. Let's just see if there's enough buying aggression to keep it going through. And if it does, I just want to point out that the VWAP, the volume weighted average price, is 23,012, it looks like. And then the point of control, the highest volume node, is 23,020. So this could be another natural target somewhere in between VWAP and the point of control. But that's only if we were to break 23,000. So we got a nice pop, a little fake out breakdown. Well, as of now, it's a fake out breakdown. Let's see if it actually holds or not. 5 minute. This is it. So the 10 minute was looking good, puked all the way to the 50 EMA. Now we're getting kind of that valley setup, the 3-bar valley where you have the high and the low. The high and low go lower and then they go higher. So it's kind of that V shape right here. Watching this on the 10 minute, if we could get that follow through, if we can actually get a close above 6,288.25 on the ES contract, that might be a legitimate reversal. We're kind of seeing a similar setup in NQ, but it is below the 50 EMA. So the 5 and the 10 and the 30 all have legitimate work to do to recover. But the SPY is actually trying to hold 10 minute, 30 minute holding while the 5 is testing, the 4 hours testing. So maybe the SPY, maybe we do get that nice bounce right off of here. Maybe we do. We're right at that 23,000 level now on NQ. SPX. Here, let me go to the 1 minute so we can see this a little bit better. People bought that dip. A little flush right here. Most likely people had their stop losses right on the other side of all this garbage. And then all those stop losses was enough, I guess, exit. And then boom, liquidity right out. All right, we're battling it out at this key level. We could watch this in real time. This is probably going to be interesting to see who wins. You can see we're just quite a bit of action. Remember, point of control. Oh, when is this going to go? depending on how this bar does, my bot should fire again if we have a nice bar. That's a big if, folks. That's a big if. It's a big if. All right. But this is the first potential bounce of the day. Obviously, market open until 9:40. First 10 minutes, nothing.
Order
Lower highs.
submitted.
Okay. We're going for it, team. We are going for it.
Order canceled. Order submitted.
Okay. I did it right. I believe I did it right, actually. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. No. Why is it in 4 fucking contracts? No. What the fuck? That's way too many contracts. What the fuck did I break? Well, as you might have surmised, I had no intention of being in 4 fucking contracts.
Order submitted.
What the fuck is this? What orders is this firing off? This makes no fucking sense.
Order canceled. Order canceled.
I don't get it. How did it double the size like that? Is it with the copier? No. I think some combination between the strategy itself, but then hooking it up to the copier completely fucking goosed it. But like the fact that this one's trading properly, this doesn't make sense to me. This one is doing what it should be doing, I think. It's short right now, but it has no profit target. How is this one short with no profit target? I have it on the Apex copier, and the copier is somehow demolishing me. Somehow it is demolishing me. Oh. No, that doesn't make sense. I'm trying to figure it out in real time. All I could tell you is something. It's something with the multiple contracts, because the one of these that's doing what it should be doing, the one contract, this is working as expected. So it's yeah. Okay, I at least know where the issue is now. But it's the dealing with multiple contracts going through the copier. That's the problem. So is this one? I don't even know if it's good right now. No, I'm like worried that's going to fire off another 4 contracts. I'm a little bit worried that's going to fire off like another trade that is quadruple the size it needs to be. Dude, that was a huge hit for no reason. That was a huge hit for absolute, like, I should be roughly, just barely red on the day. That was an outsized hit for no reason whatsoever. Fuck. Yeah, I think I'm looking at it now. I think the ratio, so on Apex Copier, for those of you who have used it, I have the ratio thing, so you can like go higher and lower ratios as in trading more or less based on like the lead account. And I think that's getting messed up because one of the followers is on a different tab as the lead account. So I think it ran it multiple times, I believe is what happened. Oh, that's frustrating. But hey, there's more time left in the day. Let's see how this does. So this one should close. This one should close in, let's see if this does it right. So in 20 seconds, this one should close the short and it should go long. If I did it properly. But how did it already fuck that up? We'll find out.
Order submitted.
Okay, so that worked as expected. Did this work as expected? Kind of. So we're... No, it fucking didn't. What the fuck is going on? Why is this trading 4 contracts? Dude, this is going to drive me fucking crazy. This is going to actually make me lose my goddamn mind. It should only be in 2 because it's trying to sell the right amount, but it's getting into the wrong amount. I don't know, folks. I don't get what the fuck's going on here. And now it's going to ruin my life. If this doesn't break out and run. This Skynet is quickly turning into Mecha Hitler on me. My own trading system is seemingly going full on Mecha Hitler. Dude, it's just hemorrhaging money on me. What the fuck? Your boy's going to have to get lucky for this one to work out. Ugh. Nice. Mecha Hitler fucking went long right in front of resistance. Nice. Sick system, dude. Love this trading system. Let's buy at resistance and see how that works. You guys might be thinking, did Matt go to AI and say, hey, I want the worst trading system ever?
Target filled.
And the answer is yeah, that's what I did. I said, could you actually buy at resistance and sell at support? Buy high, sell low, and just do that time and time and time again? Is it because I have the strategies on the same chart right here? Whatever this is, it's not going well. All right, so one of those got locked in, cut that loss in half. These ones are still live. This is less than ideal, team. I'm going to be honest with you. It's like, you know what? Let's just try to sell right on the top side of serious fucking resistance. Great system, Matt. Awesome, dude. You really know what you're doing here. Code that doesn't fucking work and also has the worst goddamn exits. Nice. Nice. That's what I pay for. My trading system is eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I have a sneaky suspicion that that is probably functioning better than mine does. Probably functions better than mine does. All right, I need to somehow... I don't think I'll be able to figure this out on the show, but I know the system's live for another half hour. Bro, this dog shit almost got itself out of the hole too. It almost pulled it off. Tesla's getting a nice pop. Palantir's getting a nice pop. I mean, to be fair, SPX, we did get, this was a decent long right here at 10. If you went long at 10.09, if you went long at 10.17, 10.18, it's not a bad trade. You had well-defined risk. You're playing the reversal. You're playing a pop back up to the transition zone. It's not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal. Support, support, support. Seemingly bouncing off of support. That would have been a bit of an aggressive entry, but it would have been less risk. Here would have been more of a higher accuracy entry. You waited for that first higher low to like get going. You could risk the 10.17 low. You could risk the 10.07 low. You could risk whatever you're more comfortable with. My point is you have well-defined risk. And if you're wrong, whatever, it's a paper cut. If you're right, you get to ride it all the way back up. And you only need to be right every so often to pay off how many ever paper cut hits you have. Did you account for slippage or commissions, LOL? No, because obviously that has nothing to do with whatever my issue is. My issue is, it's probably not even code. I think it's how I have it hooked up in the Apex copier. Actually, that could probably be one quick fix I could do right now, is just run this strategy independently on each account, like at this moment, rather than running it through the copier. But you could, yeah, we're just battling it out at 23,000. So for these accounts to basically not blow out, I need what's happening right now to not happen. I need this reversal to be an actual reversal and not a fake out. Yeah, I need this. This red candle cannot happen. That I need the market to say, nope, we are very, very cool being above 23,000. Fuck. Uh-oh. We did get a higher high. We did get a higher low. I think it's very, very important that this market holds the 10.17 low and we do not go beneath it. Look at all that, dude. They're trying to get out right above 23,000, 23,007, 10, 20. Lot of sitting sell orders. You're going to have to see quite a few green bubbles. See this guy over here? You're going to have to see quite a few of these up here to take care of that sell side liquidity. Unfortunately, I'm seeing more red bubbles recently than green. I'm seeing more red bubbles. Does not bring joy. Does not bring joy. What the fuck? Come on. Oh, we're testing that. So we went from green to red. Well, green, testing. Actually went red. Got back green. Got that test. Bulls said, no, we want to stay green. And then they're like, nope, we're going to test it again. So yesterday's closing value very quickly becoming pivotal. Similar to yesterday's low. Similar to the huge open interest level at 62.40. Well, I guess these accounts are in the hands of Mecha Hitler today, folks. I don't know what's going on. This is fucking insane. I'll tell you better. I'll tell you better when it ends. So the one account did close out. So my instinct of what's going on is the fact that I'm only trading one account on the account that's already beat up because there's left buffer. That's working fine because I don't have to run it through the copier with the ratios. It's the two new accounts that I am running through the copier to change the ratios. And I think something with the ratios it is not running so well with the actual code. So I think maybe I need to figure it out where it's just all in the code and I don't have to run it through the copier at all. It feels like that's probably the fix I need to implement tonight. But who knows? I might not even have the opportunity to do that. 93. Is that going for fucking 25 points when I have 4 contracts? $93, 7 plus 18 is 25. And it's going for 4 contracts for 25 points. It's going for 100. It's going for 2K. What the fuck? Why? Chill out, dog. This is not what I intended. I want it well stated, well known that if this hits, it's just going awry, folks. This is not what as the creator of this system, this was not my intention. I know we're getting very biblical, but my creation has gone awry. This is not ideal. Less than what the fuck? This is why you shouldn't code your trading systems while you're drunk. To all the kids in the audience, if you were ever looking for a reason of why you shouldn't create complicated trading systems while having a few too many Hugo Spritzes, this is it. Your life will just rip apart at the seams. Rip apart at the seams. Yeah, it's an ID 10T error. Oh, Jesus.
Order filled.
And just like that. But what I don't get now, what's it doing? When's it going to get out, brother? It locked in too. And what? Now it's just going to ride it? It's just going to... Like, what's it going for? I don't get it. How greedy could this algorithm possibly be? Like, take the money, dude. I don't think it is. I think it's broke. I honestly don't think, like, there's nothing on the screen. It has no intention of getting out. This is like, literally, it's just like, I don't know now. It's in God's hands. Ride to highs, maybe. I guess it's at that point. It's just like, maybe. We don't know. Does the close button work? It does, but that's not, like, at this point. And now it's just like a morbid curiosity of where the fuck this is going to go. I guess I could put in a stop order to see here. 90. I still don't know why it's trading so much here. Sell, stop market.
Order submitted.
All right, I put in a protective stop, so it's not going to lose money. But I even think that's going to fuck up because it's going through the copier now. Anyway, I'm not going to lose money on this. I put in the stop. I'm not going to be so completely stupid here. But now, like I said, this has become a point of, like, let's just see how crazy can actually get. Skynet needs resources for the machine takeover. It feels like maybe. Expected move today is 0.4%. Okay. Got it. We're back above VWAP, and we're also at the point of control at 23,020. So this is another equilibrium point. Quite a few sellers above, quite a few buyers below. Let's see how this one plays out. But it looks like, actually, that's a lot of orange. It looks like a big win for the bulls would be to recapture 23,050 on NQ. If you're trading ES, we're above the point of control. We're at VWAP. Looks like taking out 62.92. And then 62.95 would also be a nice win. That's for ES. Dude, these fuckers are still going. That's crazy, man. Oh, the biggest bummer of this means I still have hours of work to do tonight to try to fix it. Hours of work. Meatloaf. Tesla's popping. Tesla's looking, dude. Tesla's leading us to the Holy Land today. Look at old Tesla. Look at old Tesla go. Old Tesla. I want to see this test of the Qs back at the low and the closing value right here. Obviously, could easily get smacked, but I think that's going to be the interesting test. I do. Oh, brother. All right, let's go to the 3 minute. Let's see what Kohrs has in store for us today. What's weird is it worked on the first one. That's what I don't get. Is the very first trade this morning, it had 2 contracts. Why would it change? Why would it go from it still thought it was in a position. It thought it was in a position still. Why would it think it was still in a position? So it thought it was in a position. So it put out a closing order and an opening order, and that's why it doubled up. And that's why it would be different than the first one today. So the first one of the day was fine because it knew it had no position. It was the start of the day. So for some reason, it thinks it's in a position, and then it's getting doubled up as it's going through the copier. So it doesn't know that it closed the first position out. Huh. Why? Why does it not know that? That's not so good. 5 minute getting rejected. Not so good. Not so good, doctor. 5 minute getting rejected, 10 minute getting rejected. Let's see how this plays out. It's about to come for me.
Order filled.
Okay. Well, we're back to break even. Is it going to double? Is it going to do this to me again? I turned it off and I turned it back on. We're going to see how this plays out. Skynet says either we're fucking or I'm fucking. If you're using closing syntax instead of placed orders, this happens with copy or fudge me for ages. If you're using closing syntax instead of placed orders. Yeah, something's going on. It's not playing nice with the copier. That's for sure. It is not playing nice with the copier. Damn, it knocked me for break even. Well, at least it got out of, like, what was it? A locked in loss of 1,000. The fact that it's attempting to dig itself out of the hole, I at least appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right. I mean, it's kind of do or die, the 5 minute trying to test at the EMA, even on NQ as well. So it's just more of which way are we going to break from here? Are we going to actually get this continuation, or do we just go to the, like, this equilibrium point and then we get, like, kind of puked out of it? All I can tell you is we're at major support. Yesterday, I was patient enough to wait for that second test, and then we ended up vomiting all day anyway. Today could easily be different. Maybe it is a double bottom situation and we bounce out of it. Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. On the screen now is Bookmap. I find that this tool is seemingly very, very helpful for active traders. Not so much swing traders. Maybe it can be used. I just haven't really necessarily personally figured out that use case. But if you're a day trader, scalp trader, and you're trying to figure out like, oh, like here's an opportunity to buy the dip at buy side liquidity. Here's an opportunity to sell. Maybe you want to sell right before there's a bunch of other sellers, like that type of thing. Active traders trying to identify like with higher detail, exact levels to enter and exit. Check out Bookmap, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. If you use that link, it's gonna bring you to a page where it kind of gives you this breakdown, but also it's gonna have all these different deals for you, and you could just pick the one that is appropriate. But highly, highly recommend just like checking out the trial period of it and seeing if it's for you. Overall, the SPY has been pretty much range bound since what? 950. So the Qs have very much been range. We just haven't really been going anywhere right now. Haven't really been going anywhere. Let's see. Why is it trading double? Why? Why would it do this to me? On the day of my daughter's wedding. Why would it do that to me? True Social, Fox Business, tariff revenues topped a record $113 billion for the first time in the fiscal year, a revelation that comes as President Donald Trump imposes near weekly duties on so. Dude, that's so small. $113 billion in tariffs means nothing when we have $2 trillion in a deficit. Like, what? In a year, they're like, hey, we brought in a 20th of your debt. Be stoked. It's like, well, maybe just don't balloon. I don't know. They try to tout that number of like how good it is, but it's not good. It is not good whatsoever. No, it's in the fiscal year. Hey, we're bringing in $100, but you're also 2,000 in debt. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. In your opinion, is BTC consolidating a little to go up more, or do you see a pullback still? I don't know. Trying to predict like that, in my opinion, is stupid. It is stupid. But I don't know. People try to do it every single day. Try to predict it. It's all astrology for degenerate gamblers, if you ask me. Astrology for degenerate gamblers. Oh, fuck. Well, no. Was it literally just because I have 2 right here? No, that couldn't be it. No. No. Was it doubling up? Literally? No, that wouldn't be the problem. Would it? No. Yes? No? We're about to find out. Oh, no. I thought that was enough to make it do something. Technical analysis is male astrology. Thoughts on MSTY? What, just a dividend-paying microstrategy? It's going to work as long as you don't get destroyed on MSTR. Like, it's more of a question of how confident are you in MSTR. Matt, would you rather bring it to zero? No, the trade-off of getting that was to balloon it. So you're not thinking of the question properly. So let's say you have $1 trillion in deficit. Would you rather have $1 trillion in deficit, or would you rather have $2 trillion in deficit, but now you're bringing in $100 billion? Obviously, the original scenario is better. So this idea of like, oh, wait, you don't want any payment? It's like, no. It doesn't live in a vacuum. Understand what happened to now give us that payment, and it's the fact that the deficit is now set to double. You're looking at the problem too simplistically. Same with you, Standing Red. You're just looking at it. You have to look at the trade-off with it. But Matt, if enough people believe in astrology and they shape their systems around it, then it becomes true, because that's how the market will behave. Yeah, the market is self-fulfilling prophecy. It's more of, can you properly predict what the majority is going to do? With the majority winning in the market. If the majority are net buyers, we go up. If the majority are net sellers, we go down. Our attempt as an individual trader is attempting to be in alignment with what the majority is about to execute. Wall Street Journal, nothing is signed for the deals he says is done in the letters. I'm not surprised. The deficit is not doubling due to tariffs. No fucking shit. Oh my God. The deficit is doubling because they're increasing spending, which is the definition of the deficit. Dude, I swear some people, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't fucking shove its head in the pond and kill it. It's illegal. It's illegal. All right. Old Mecha Hitler here. Where you see the increase in spending, oh my God. In the bill that was passed. Wait, do you really think that the big beautiful bill doesn't increase spending? Even the most hardcore MAGA supporting economists say, yes, this will increase the deficit. Like, that's not a debated thing. Everyone and their brother knows that the big beautiful bill will increase the deficit. Like, literally the most hardcore MAGA economists say, yes, this will increase. No one disagrees with that. And you're trying to say, where do you see it increase spending? Like, dude, this is the issue, is like, there's certain measurable truths that we have, and then there's other people who just didn't. They're like, nope, that's not true. That's not true. It's like, how do you possibly have a intellectually honest discussion when people are trying to do that? When they like literally just make shit up and like, no, that's not going to increase spending. Like, they just struggle. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's so stupid. But Matt, it's fun money. It is fun money. None of it's real. If the government can print it, why can't we? Spending, yes. Deficit, not proven. Okay. Name one time in history that we've increased spending and then also not increased our deficit. Don't believe your lying eyes. Yeah, okay. Maybe. What's this one? Is this the good one? Total public debt, millions of dollars. Hang on. There's a better graphic. Where's the clock? Nope, that's not the good one. There's a really good one. Is this one? I don't know. There's a really good chart of it. These are all basically the same. Yeah, no, maybe this time it's different. Maybe this is like the one time the government's figured it out. Maybe. Is it national debt clock? National debt clock. Is this what I'm thinking of? What are we at? 37 trillion? Yeah, no, it seems like the number's going down. It seems as if you guys are right. This is the one time it's completely different than the entire functioning history of the U.S. government. It's going down, right? Well, it seems like they're going up. Up. Feels like it's going the wrong way. U.S. federal spending, budget deficit. Oh, here it is. Is this number going up or down, class? Class, pop quiz. U.S. federal budget deficit. You guys are arguing, no, spending's going up, but it's going to help with the deficit. Deficit is $2 trillion. Which direction is this number going in? Which is, I guess this is a two-part question. Is having a higher or lower deficit better? Which would you prefer? And then also, which way is the current deficit going? Jesus. I mean, I swear, the wool that people will pull over their own eyes to do the mental gymnastics to support the political party they want is insane. Insane. The Trump supporters in chat right now who are trying to contest that this is okay, if the exact same situation was happening, but Biden or Harris was running the show, you would be losing your mind. You would be losing your absolute mind right now. But because in this hypothetical, the exact same thing is being enacted by the guy that you voted for, you're contorting your mind to say that it's all right. You don't look at who's doing it. Look at the thing that's being done and make a fair judgment off of that. If the exact same thing played out, but it was from the Harris camp or the Biden camp, you'd be like, this is the worst thing ever. This is absolutely the worst thing ever. But because it's being done by the person you voted for, you're like, no, actually, let's see how it plays out. Let's give it some time. Maybe it's not actually going to do that. Dude, what the fuck? Grow up. They're all pieces of shit. They're all doing the same thing, dude. They're all doing the same thing. And then yet it's all right this time. You're going to hide this time. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. That's not what you should be doing. Democrats wouldn't be cutting taxes. Yeah, because that's also a super simplistic thing that can just be summed up with raising or cutting taxes. Come on. I wonder if Matt has a video of 2020 complaining about the same issue. Yeah, I do. Because it's just these people in power. It's our political class making decisions that benefit themselves and their cronies rather than the actual nation. And they do it. This isn't a left versus a right thing. This is the political class versus all of us. They all do it. If you do not think that Trump, Biden, Trump, Obama, Bush, Reagan, Bush, if you don't think that they all are doing this to increase their own power and wealth, their friends' power and wealth, their cronies' powers and wealth at the cost and detriment or at minimal, just the disregard for public, you're fucking insane. How in the world could you be like, yeah, this is, dude, most recently, look at what's going on with Trump coin, Melania coin. Look at what's going on with the Epstein files. Look at what's going on with the most egregious insider front-running trading before any announcement from Trump. I'm not saying he's doing it, but I am saying that there's obviously loose lips. Trump released his own meme coin and it crashed on everyone. He released Melania coin. It crashed on everyone. He's increasing spending. And that's just this guy where you guys thought he was actually going to be fiscally responsible. And guess what? Biden did it. And guess what? Trump did it before that. And guess what? Obama did it before that. And guess what? Bush did it before that. There's nothing new under the sun. If all of a sudden you think that we're oh no, this is the one guy who's really got our back, he's really going to help us out. Dude, let me sell you some fucking oceanfront property in Nebraska. Trump coin is still up. It's not up from its debut. You might mean it's up as in a functioning thing. It's not, the average person is not net profitable on it. Actually, where the fuck is Trump coin at right now? Where is that? Trump, is this the right one? Yeah, it's still up. Great comment. Great added insight to this conversation. It really does look like it's still up. Amazing input into this conversation. That Trump coin is still up. Melania Is it Melania? Is it this one? Yeah. Another phenomenal one. Looking good. These collectibles really kept their value. Really kept their value. God. Just every day. Every day. So the fact that like this mental gymnastics people do is crazy. Absolutely crazy. But sure, believe what you want to believe. See how far. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. What's the news? What's the news? Nope. What's the news? I'm not seeing anything, folks. There's nothing on Financial Juice. There's nothing on what's happening. What the fuck's happening? What happened? Hello? There's nothing on True Social. Oh fuck. What was it? The EU are to create almost 400 billion mechanism 20. Okay. White House senior advisor Hassett ends remarks to Fox Business. That was 16 minutes ago. Folks, I'm not seeing news here. Donald Trump asked Republican lawmakers whether to dismiss Federal Reserve Chair. Trump asked Republican lawmakers if he should fire the Fed chair. Breaking: Trump will fire Powell very soon. Trump asked GOP lawmakers if he should fire the chair. Well, that feels like a fucking overreaction. Yeah, just that's exactly what you want. A guy in power that just can wreak havoc by stupid fucking questions of should I get rid of the Fed chair? That's what we need. Super cool. He's doing it during market hours too. That's just fat finger somewhere. This is the market reacting.
Order submitted.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Target filled.
Okay, so one of them already got a fill. I don't feel good about this. I don't know what to tell you. But look at this. It's now back to 2 contracts. Riddle me that, Batman. We went from 2 contracts to 4 contracts to 4 contracts to 2 contracts. Well, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. An inconsistent error, an inconsistent bug. I should also clarify, I don't like this trade at all because the only reason we dump was because of stupid fucking news. I want that on the record. Tariffs will crash the market. Remember, later all-time highs. LOL. I never was of that opinion. I think Powell was doing abysmal, to be completely honest. Because you have what? An in-depth, like PhD in an economic opinion, well thought out opinion. I'm now curious. Liberty Cast, please explain why you believe, why you've come to this idea that Powell has done an abysmal job. Please offer your insights to the class of just, you're like, you know what? I've done extensive historic research on the Federal Reserve, on monetary policy, and the chairman of the Fed. Please tell us the amount of, I think they're all crooks. So because you think they're all crooks, you think that because they're all crooks, Jerome Powell has done an abysmal job. Dude, just say you don't know what you're talking about. It's all right. We get it. I get that people pop off all the time and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Target filled.
That's pretty sick. All right, so up 900, break even. Just, I love it. I love when people are trying to like, hey, I just have a really thought out. But that's like the problem at large, isn't it? Is that so many people think they're such experts and so smart on everything, and they're not. We just now live in a society where everyone thinks they're a fucking expert by reading headlines, and they hear one take from it, and they we live. This has become the United States. We are now perpetually in the Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias in which people with limited competency in a particular domain overestimate their abilities. So basically, people who know nothing think that they are experts. And then there's people who learn a little bit, realize they don't know anything. And then there's experts who also know and believe that they are experts. But right here, this is now, unfortunately, our society. People take in a headline, they read a single thing, and they vastly overestimate their knowledge or their understanding of the situation. You see it in politics. You see it right here with a person who thinks that they can properly judge how Jerome Powell is done. You see it everywhere. You see it in trading. You see it in you see it in literally fucking everything. And it's so much to do with social media and how we're just inundated with headlines, and people, we just do like the most cursory amount of research and we're like, cool. And like, it's just flooding our brains. And then you take it and you're like, okay, cool. And whatever, I guess you somehow are then like, this is actually crazy. This chart right here, competency group. So they thought they were this good, but they were actually this good. They scored lower than they thought. Well, actual experts scored higher than they thought they would. So basically, you have experts underestimating themselves, and you have novice level understanding greatly overestimating themselves. That's crazy. What are their perceived performance, actual performance? This is our life right now. This is the EU. This is the US. Actual performance. This is people talking about politics, but then yet what they think they know. This is people trading, but how they think they are as traders. There's no better graph in this world to explain what in the fuck is going on. The conversation of how has Jerome Powell performed right here. This is your knowledge, but this is how you think you are talking. This is the conversation of the deficit and what's going on. This is how you're actually performing, but this is where you think your knowledge of government spending and monetary policy and trades are at. Folks, this is just perpetually the world we live in, and it's so incredibly frustrating. It's insanely frustrating. The more I've learned, the less I actually know. Well, yeah, that's the other end where experts underestimate their knowledge because they respect the fact of how much they still need to like learn. Matt, Dunning-Kruger is a bell curve, and it's not a bell curve, it's a well curve. It's an upside down bell curve. But that test was created by experts. That's called bias. My mom used to tell me I'm a smart boy. She was wrong. Hey, it happens. I'd watch it again, super useful, or ask ChatGPT to explain why Jay Powell has to increase rates to tackle inflation. Well, and that's one of the coolest things right now in the modern era, that if you're the kind of person who wants actual answers, it is very easy now with the rise of AI to get more information than you're going to get from headlines. And I actually think that's one of the biggest benefits is you could go to Grok, Claude, ChatGPT, whatever, Llama, Gemini, like whatever. And if you want to have a good amount of knowledge, basically for free on any subject matter, that's awesome. Like right now, all you have to do is, okay, for example, the Big Beautiful Bill. all of the text of the big beautiful bill is already out there. So you're gonna have all these LLMs already trained on it. So you can get all of your questions already answered of what the big beautiful bill is or isn't. Actually, let's go to ChatGPT. Are you familiar with the big, does it already know it? Beautiful bill. I don't know if it, yes, all right. To the best of your understanding, what will it do to what will it do to both debt and the deficit? To the best of your understanding, what will it do to both debt and the deficit? All right, once again, the CBO, nonpartisan. The CBO initially projected the House version of the bill will add $2.4 trillion to the deficit over the next decade, with a net increase of $3 trillion to the national debt. The projected deficit increase was later revised to $2.8 trillion. Cool. They just increased it. Senate version 3.4, blah, blah, blah. Analyst takes. It gives you the full breakdown. CBO, White House.
Order submitted.
Oh, fuck. Hang on. Oh, back to 2. So that one worked. And that one worked. And that one worked. I don't know. Feels like they're playing fast and loose with us on this one. Feels like we went fast and loose on this one. So let's see if we can get account 8. It's account 8, 9, and 10. Let's see if we can get 8 back into the green here. Let's get you back into the green there, buddy. Come on. Come on there, Tonto. You could do it. All right. It actually almost got the fill. It was trying to get out at 26.25, and it looks like it went as high as 26. It literally a tick away from getting the fill on that. That's a bummer. Someone said Bitcoin looking phenomenal. Am I missing a pump on Bitcoin right now? I am missing a pump on Bitcoin. I definitely am. Hang on, I just want to check out IBIT. Where are people playing IBIT? 66, 70. How much of an increase is that? 5%. Okay. Interesting. That's a big target. That's a big target, folks. That is a big, 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 big target. Big target. Big target. Oh. Hang on. What do we have here? Long calls up to 70.
Target filled.
That's a lot of long calls on IBIT. That's a lot of long calls. That got filled back into the green. All right. If you're in the Discord, I just made a trade. Let me take a quick screenshot. If you are in the Discord, I made a trade, a new swing trade. A new swing trade. Where are you guys at? Swingers. Okay, so that one hit. This one has a bit of a reach still. It's going for a big amount. Hang on, I want it. That actually kind of looked interesting. So IBIT, there's a lot of long calls, but if we do our research, so it is the monthly. Is it gonna? I'm trying to figure out, does this play disappear this Friday? But they could also reestablish. It feels like 70 on IBIT is going to be very, very important. Which, if you look at IBIT to 70, that's just under a 3% increase. Just under 3%, which would bring us basically back to the all-time high. So the IBIT bet in the options market, the big amount of calls that we're seeing, they're betting on Bitcoin getting back to 123. And you have a technical breakout at 119.9. I don't know. Do you guys think that one's crazy to play? How are you guys feeling in the next week on Bitcoin? Here's the argument. Price structure is bullish. Higher highs, higher lows. Price momentum is bullish. It's on top of the EMAs on all major time frames. So if you look at the daily, it's above the EMAs. If you look at the 4 hour, it's above the EMAs. If you look at the 30 minutes, above the EMAs. If you look at the 15 minutes, above the EMAs. If you look at the 10 minutes, above the EMAs. If you look at the 5 minutes, above the EMAs. If you look at the 3 minutes, above the EMAs. If you look at the 1 minute, it's above the EMAs. So price momentum, bullish. Price structure, bullish. Higher highs, higher lows. Higher highs, higher lows. Higher highs, higher lows. So price structure is bullish. Price momentum is bullish. Looking at options, we can look at something like IBIT, where there's a lot of bets for it to gain 2.75%. IBIT is going to be the largest like derivative we can use. You can use somewhat other related ones like MicroStrategy, where, hang on, let's clean this up a little bit. Do this. You could see 460. Where is MicroStrategy currently at? MSTR. Why do I not see it? MSTR. Where? Oh, it's at 452. Bets going up to 460. That would actually be resistance. But still, that's an $8 gain. That's another 2 to 3%. So it seems like in the short term, there's quite a bit of a bet from Bitcoin to raise roughly 2.5 to 3%. Let's call it 2.75. Whether you're looking at IBIT, whether you're looking at a test of the all-time high, whether you're looking at MicroStrategy. Let's look at Coinbase. Why do I not have Coin? Where is Coin? Coin's already at 400. And then there's this wall here. $4 would be 1%. The middle of that, yeah, it's about another 2%. That's going to be a wall, though, to get over. A lot of long calls, and then I assume sold calls. So running into a wall, but guess what? That's still, once again, about 2 to 3% higher. So we're seeing across the board these bets coming in, but then a different story is are they right? Are they right? Can you explain what and how BITX works? How does BITX work? This is my point, is you can get your questions answered so easily. So incredibly easily, but people just don't even take the time to do it. BITX delivered twice the daily return of Bitcoin, not actual BTC. Bitcoin via Bitcoin futures. It was launched in 2023, about 2 years ago. BITX, this is how it actually it has to do with rolling in futures. Right here, BITX continually rolls positions to the nearest to expire futures M1 to the next contract month. Daily leverage rebalancing. Every trading day, it adjusts positions to maintain exactly 2x exposure to Bitcoin futures. This makes BITX ideal for short-term trading, not long-term holding, because gains and losses compound daily. So it's done through the front month Bitcoin contract. It is not for buy and hold investors. Volatility, drag, and daily resets make long-term returns unpredictable.
Filled.
Oh, holy shit. I made that money. Okay, so I made just around 4K, 2K, and a little bit to kick there. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. I feel like I should turn it off because I feel like, if anything, I got absurdly lucky. I mean, you guys saw the volatility in this. I was just getting my ass handed to me. The fact that I'm green at all, I passed all these accounts. I passed all of Apex. I passed all of Take Profit, and I somehow made money on this. I feel like the fact that I somehow made money is like a really good sign to be like, dude, just take the lucky win. Just take the lucky win and move on, you know? Feels like that's the way to do it. Feels like that is the way to do it. That is quite the fight back. What are the big players doing? It's 11:15 now. Huh. Interesting. All right, folks. If you want an Apex account, those are the 20 that I passed this morning. Obviously, first of all, I truly appreciate it when you use that code Goonie to get any of your SIM-to-funded accounts. But right now, Apex 80% off. And if you're having issues passing the test, make sure you watch the video in the description of the video. And then also, if you're interested in more like day trading, scalp trading, seeing where the liquidity either is or isn't, make sure to check out Bookmap pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. That's what I have for you. I appreciate all of the good vibes. We'll be posting an update video at some point later today, and then we'll be streaming once again tomorrow morning. The major thing that you're going to need to know between now and market open tomorrow is at 8:30 a.m. ET tomorrow, we get initial jobless claims, retail sales, Philadelphia manufacturing, and then at 5 a.m. we're going to be getting the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, the inflation report out of the Eurozone region. So Europe inflation, 5 a.m., 8:30, a slew of macroeconomic reports, and retail sales. Actually, that is an impactful enough report that you could use the strategy to pass the Apex test if that's something that you are looking for. Someone just said, what the F is going on? Oh, what the fuck? Dude, hang on. Something happened. Nope, it's not that. White House, Trump is likely to fire Powell soon. What the fuck? That's from the White House official. Breaking, White House, Trump is likely to fire Powell soon. Dude, we can just never catch a break.
Order submitted.
Fuck, this is trading again now. I don't like that it's trading with all this bullshit. I should have turned it off. Maybe I'll get lucky, maybe I won't. It turns itself off at 11:30. Hey, all right, we locked that in. I'm moving up the profit target a little bit. I just want to turn this off. I just want to get this money, get the fuck out. Who knows how this is going to go. Dude, this guy needs to chill the fuck out. This guy needs to chill it out. Such a, like, intentionally just driving market instability. That is not, it's just not cool, brother.
Target filled.
All right, locked it. Done. Turned it off. So made 329 back on the account that's getting beat up, and then on the fresh accounts 2.9K and 2.9K. So I guess with all three of these together, about 6K on funded accounts. So pretty stoked. Obviously, day one of me attempting to be disciplined and let the robots run the day. I'll admit it, the robots went a little bit awry on me this morning, but we were able to pull it off anyway. Like I said, a nice 6K gain. So even with all this craziness, it looks like it worked itself out past all the apex, past all the take profit. I don't know. The TLDR here is be careful, because this is just getting disgusting. This is getting like legit bad. Fuck. Inside you, there are two wolves. One is retarded. The other is retarded. You are retarded. You know, I couldn't have said it better myself. All right. That's what I have for you. This is another day of potential. Lost, gone, out the window. It is what it is. Please pay attention. Please be careful. And please understand that day trading is extraordinarily difficult. And it's probably going to be made easier if you just trade with a system. And if you're interested in what systematic trading is and how to build one, that's what we talk about quite a bit in the Discord. So if you're into that whatsoever, join up, and you could join the rest of the people who are attempting to pull that off themselves. That's what I have for you. I appreciate all the good vibes. We'll be posting stuff later on. And then if not, I'll smell you tomorrow morning. Peace.